On the news tonight, NLC threatens nationwide strike on Wednesday, demands reversal of petrol price. Resident doctors begin indefinite strike action over unmet demands. And Tinubu speaks on coup attempt in Niger Republic, says ECOWAS won't tolerate anti-democratic acts. Hello and welcome to News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I am Simisola Adigun. Chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, Bola Tinubu, has issued a statement condemning a coup attempt in Niger Republic. On Wednesday, disgruntled members of GUARD had held President Mohamed Bazoum hostage, sealing off access to his residence and offices after talks with him broke down. Reacting to this development, Tinubu said ECOWAS is closely monitoring the situation and development, while he warned the coup plotters of dire consequences for their action. He added that the ECOWAS leadership will not accept any action that impedes the smooth functioning of legitimate authority in Niger or any part of West Africa. Well, to discuss this further, I'm now joined by global affairs analyst Achike Chude. Thank you for your time. Now, it's just been 2 weeks since Tinubu took a stand against coups in Africa upon his emergence as chairman of ECOWAS. Now, what do you think should be his next line of action following this coup attempt in Niger Republic?
Well, I think it's going to be a very tough one. Obviously, the Nigerian president, who is now the chairman of ECOWAS, has talked stuff, about the need to stop this state of coup in the West African sub-region. No, but this is now the time to go beyond talking. This is time to put, like one would say, to put one's money where one's mouth is, to be able to ensure that the right kind of message is sent to these military adventurers. So what is to be done? Obviously, he had given indication that some kind of force would have to be used to deter coup plotters in the West African sub-region. But it's one thing to say that it's another thing to be able to live up to it. Because this is not about 30 years ago, during the ECOWAS crisis, the ECOMOG intervention in Liberia and then in Sierra Leone. That continent, subcontinent, is no longer exactly the same thing. The countries that constituted ECOWAS are having all kinds of, ECOMOG are having all kinds of problems, especially economic problems. There's poverty in many of these countries, but most importantly, the West African sub-region is rife with all kinds of violent activities by Islamist rebels and the other violent non-state actors. So these countries in West Africa are trying to contend with some of this insecurity in their countries. So for them to be able to, for instance, raise a force which has been muted, even during the last administration of Muhammadu Buhari, there was that discussion, among West African countries that perhaps that might be the way to go. But my fear is that the sub-region lacks the necessary resources and manpower to be able to carry this out effectively in any particular country. And then again, you look at hello.
All right, I think I would cut you short here, but I'll ask you. Now, Mohamed Bazoum was sworn in as president in April 2021 in Niger's first democratic transfer of power since independence in 1960. Although you've mentioned some of the problems facing the West African region now, what do you think is the reason for this coup attempt threatening the country's young democracy?
Sorry, I didn't get what you said.
Well, I asked, what do you think is the reason for this coup attempt threatening the country's young democracy?
Look, it's easy to say. It's always easy to say misgovernance in in Africa. And to a very large extent, that has been responsible for a lot of the coups that have been taking place. Because when you have, that is the excuse that military adventurers have always given for the reason why they want to, for the reason why they want to intervene and to save democracy, to save the country and to restore the country to normalcy, whatever that means in their own dictionary. But beyond that, and I agree that we have serious governance issues in West Africa. And the sooner West African political leaders, and not just West Africa, begin to get their ass right and realize that they need to give more to the people, the better it is for the subcontinent, for the continent of Africa.
Well,
but beyond that, again, is the fact that...
Analyst, thank you very much for your insights. I'm afraid I have to cut you short here. Moving on, Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, has called for suggestions on ways in which the conduct of future elections in Nigeria can improve. Yakubu made the call on Wednesday in continuation of the quarterly consultative meeting with the media and INEC members to review the 2023 general elections at the Commission's conference room in Abuja. While addressing members of the media, Yakubu laid emphasis on the recruitment and training of ad hoc staff, conduct of regular ad hoc officials during the election, and logistics for the movement of personnel and materials. On his part, President of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Chris Isiguzo, assured him that the media would continue to support the Commission in the electoral processes.
Today, we are not holding a media briefing or press conference. We are meeting with media executives to tell us what they observed in the field during the last election. Because before you are media executives, before we are election managers, we are above all citizens of Nigeria. And so there must have been things you saw in the field, and you would have asked yourselves, how I wish I can meet INEC to tell them. And it is through this kind of interaction, and only through this kind of interaction, that will continue to improve on the electoral process in the country.
An enlightened and educated electorate is the backbone of any thriving democracy. Our commitment to public enlightenment and voter education remains unwavering. During the 2023 elections, we undertook the noble responsibility of educating citizens on their rights, the electoral process, and the candidates vying for various offices. Let us therefore take this opportunity to evaluate the effectiveness of our voter education initiatives and strategize on innovative approaches to reach a broader audience. By empowering citizens with knowledge, we strengthen the foundation of our democracy.
The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has issued a 7-day ultimatum to President Bola Tinubu to reverse all anti-poor people policies, including the hike in the price of premium motor spirit (PMS) known as petrol. In a communique co-signed by NLC President Joe Ajaero and the union's General Secretary Emmanuel Ubuaja held on Tuesday, the Labour Union threatened to embark on a total and indefinite strike from Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023, should the federal government fail to do the needful. The NLC demanded the immediate reversal of all anti-poor policies of the federal government, including the recent hike in PMS price, increase in public school fees, as well as the release of the 8-month withheld salary of university lecturers and workers. The Senate has called on the federal government to halt the proposed increase in electricity tariff by the 11 distribution companies DISCOs in the country. These were some of the resolutions reached on Tuesday after a debate on a motion sponsored by Senator representing Oyo Central Yunus Akintunde. In his presentation, Akintunde maintained that the DISCOs have no justification to the hike, especially as the price of natural gas has not been reviewed. He added that the proposed increase will significantly impact the affordability and electricity and further impoverish the lives of average Nigerians.
The Senate is further concerned that the proposed increase will significantly impact the affordability of electricity for the average Nigerians, further exacerbating the financial burden faced by our households and businesses. That less than 1 week time-frame window provided by National Electricity Regulatory Commission for comments from all relevant stakeholders is too small for any meaningful engagement. The Senate is further concerned that high electricity tariff will impede industrial growth, job creation, and overall economic development. This will have adverse effects on the nation's drive towards sustainable development and poverty reduction.
Distinguished colleagues, it is important to note that the removal of fuel subsidy has adversely affected the general prices of goods and services within the economy, with a very high rate of pass-through inflation. Electricity is one of the primary factors of production. An increase in electricity tariffs, as currently proposed, will increase the problem of the inflation and compound Nigeria's inflation crisis. While the pros and cons of subsidizing consumption can be debated every day, the benefits of subsidizing production is inherent. Vast multiplier effects in the local economy. I would like to back the motion, which was co-sponsored by myself and aptly read by Senator Yunus Akintunde, by calling on the federal government to intervene as a matter of urgency to halt this proposed increase in tariffs.
There was mild drama on Tuesday at the investigative hearing of the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Job Racketeering and Gross Mismanagement of the Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System, IPIS, after a commissioner in the Federal Character Commission, FCC, had accused the chairperson of the commission, Muhida Dankaka, of using an appointment with her doctor as a ploy to evade the committee's probe. The commissioner representing Taraba State, Armayao Abubakar, who represented the chairperson, had earlier tendered a letter informing the committee of her absence. This disclosure drew outrage from federal lawmakers who condemned the action of the chairman of the Federal Character Commission.
So that the chairman of the committee of the commission, Dr. Mrs. Muhiba Dankaka, will appear in person with all the 36 commissioners or 37 commissioners for 37. What? Okay, 36 commissioners, because one of the commissioners is already a member of the House of Representatives, and Obenyi is also on medical leave. So and there are some commissioners also that have already gone for assignment in other states of the Federation. So that is why we are reminding for up to next week, so that we'll be able to call all of them to be here in person.
And I want to stress that Dankaka, the chairman of Federal Character Commission, these are our usual excuse for various committees that have invited her. I should be on record. If she wants to collect 10% of employment from MDAs, he sees that the chief executive must come one-on-one with her. Why is she not here? Come tomorrow by 11. But if you want us to exaggerate the issues, to escalate it, to explain it, to allow Nigerians listen, to put it into perspective, for the world to know you are a liar, we can do that. We can do that. Your colleagues are saying 12 o'clock, so she has the right to go and see her doctor, come back to the office and continue working, but she doesn't have the energy to appear before this committee and make representation. Why did she take government appointment? So two things. She will come here or she compromise the office.
We'll take a break here, but still to come. FIFA President Infantino lauds Australia and New Zealand for breaking World Cup record. There are details of the story and more when we return. Welcome back. A recap of our top stories tonight. The Nigeria Labour Congress NLC has issued a 7-day ultimatum to President Bola Tinubu administration to reverse all anti-poor people policies, including the hike in the price of premium motor spirit PMS. The NLC demanded the immediate reversal of the policies of the federal government, including the recent hike, the increase in public school fees, as well as the release of the 8 months withheld salary of university lecturers and workers. We also told you that the chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, Bola Tinubu, has issued a statement condemning a coup attempt in Niger Republic. On Wednesday, disgruntled members of GUARD had held President Mohamed Bazoum hostage, sealing off access to his residence and offices after talks with him broke down. Reacting to these developments, Tinubu said ECOWAS is closely monitoring the situation and development, while he warned the coup plotters of dire consequences for their action. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Lamex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube on TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
The president must see himself as the president of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Let's now join Mary Kanu, who's on standby with business news. Over to you, Mary.
Many thanks, Simisala. Welcome to Business News. One of Nigeria's new generation banks, Premium Trust Bank, has continued to spread its tentacles across Nigeria. This time it has opened a new branch in Akure, the Ondo state capital, as part of efforts to widen the commercial bank's reach since it began operations in April 2022. Speaking of the commission, the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, praised the bank executive for identifying the state as a viable platform for investment. Our correspondent, Folashade Ogurinde, has more details in this next report.
In the name of the Father, of the Son, and
with the cutting of the ribbon, the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, officially unveils the 9th and newest branch of Premium Trust Bank located in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Flanked by top management of the bank, the Deputy Governor toured the banking hall and inspected some of the bank's facilities. Premium Trust Bank is one of Nigeria's fastest growing banks. It has set up shop in 9 states across the country in just over a year of beginning of operations. Managing Director and CEO of the bank, Emmanuel Emefenim, says the bank's strength lies in its policy of putting its customer first.
We believe that, banking is all about service. And the kind of service that we render in Premium Trust is not something that we dump on the customer. We sit with the customer and we co-create the products and the service that we render, so that what we are giving you fits completely with what you want. And we do it with so much speed, and that's why we talk about speed of execution. We are here to deliver value. We are here to empower the people. We are here to work closely with the government and ensure that beyond just banking and taking deposits, we will add so much value, build up businesses and communities that will ensure that the state gets better and the people also prosper.
Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Aiyedatiwa, says he's impressed with the bank's growth and is confident that its presence in the state will improve residents' access to credit facilities as well as foster a favorable business environment.
I'm confident that your presence here will strengthen the financial system, enhances access to wider credit, and promote financial inclusion for all our economic players. With this new branch, we envisage enhanced access to modern banking facilities, personalized services, and innovative financial products that will cater for the diverse needs of our people.
One of the community leaders who graced the occasion says he's hopeful that the Akure branch of Premium Trust Bank will open employment opportunities for youths in the state.
That they are going to employ at least over 90% of the indigent, and which we are glad about. That's what we have been clamoring for. That's what we've been hoping for. So now that it's coming to fruition, that means that the Akure people too will support them in order to make sure that they don't take their business away from here, so that they can succeed. They use money to look for money, so we have to give them the backing too. And then thank God they are coming to a state that is very, very safe. That is a very safe, area compared to other states.
Despite its status as a newcomer in Nigeria's banking sector, Premium Trust Bank has won several awards, including being named Nigeria's fastest growing bank 2022, most innovative bank, and Bank of the Year in sports development. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News, Akure.
Let's take a break now and we're back with Stock Market Report. The shares of Unilever Nigeria PLC and Cadbury were sold mostly by investors as the Nigeria equity market got hit by higher monetary policy rate. The NGX All-Share Index and equities market capitalization recorded the first decrease this week, 0.46%, that is 185 billion naira, shed off the market to close at 35.7 trillion naira. Now, despite the losses, market breadth closed positive with 32 gainers and 24 losers. A summary of today's trading shows 10% decline in volume, 4% decline in turnover, and 12% decline in deals. Owing out to the global market now, just like the NGX, the FTSE and Nikkei are witnessing a bearish trading day ahead of the latest monetary policy update from the U.S. Federal Reserve, while the Dow Jones has witnessed its 13th consecutive positive trade, its longest winning streak since January 20th, 1987, and is trading up at 0.070%. That's the stock market report. Simisola, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mary, for the update. And Kenyans have voiced cautious optimism for an end to political unrest after President William Ruto said he was ready to meet opposition leader Raila Odinga anytime following months of anti-government protests. Since veteran politician Raila Odinga urged Kenyans to take to the streets in March, his Azimio Alliance has held 9 days of protest against the government, with the demonstrations sometimes descending into looting and deadly clashes with police. Late on Tuesday, Ruto expressed his willingness to meet Odinga in a social media post addressing the opposition leader. The violence in Kenya has sparked outrage among rights groups, with campaigners denouncing the police for firing tear gas and live rounds to disperse stone-throwing protesters. And in sports, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has hailed the Women's World Cup as a great success, with its record attendances despite the tournament being less than a week old. More than 1.5 million match tickets have been sold, which has already exceeded FIFA's original target for the July 20 to August 20 tournament, co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand. Meanwhile, a full house of more than 50,000 fans are expected at Brisbane's Suncorp Stadium on Thursday, when Australia meets Nigeria.
This is definitely the greatest FIFA Women's World Cup ever. We had an opening day which was amazing, over 115,000 spectators in New Zealand and in Australia. In New Zealand, the highest attendance ever for a football game, men and women. In Australia, the highest attendance at the World Cup game since 24 years. We have been selling over 1.5 million tickets already, which was, of course, our very ambitious target. Well, we passed that. We have incredible viewing figures across the world. We'll definitely reach 2 billion viewers. We often say that football unites the world. New Zealand and Australia are uniting the world down under. In their part of the world, they welcome all of us, every single person, the volunteers, the police officers, all the employees, everyone who is connected somehow with the World Cup has done a tremendous job, is welcoming, is warm, is smiling, and this is really priceless. And from my side, from FIFA, from all the fans who come here from all over the world, well, a big thank you to New Zealand and a big thank you to Australia.
Well, that wraps up our bulletin this evening. Thank you for watching. I'm Simisola Tikun. Bye for now.